Hi guys, in today's video we are going to be looking at how we can color grade images in Adobe Photoshop using selective colors. This is Twisted Creative. I like is my name. If it's your first time on this channel, please do me a favor. Do me a favor by hitting that subscribe button. Not only by hitting that subscribe button, also ring that notification bell so that you don't miss any of the next video. Without wasting much time, let's jump into it. So this is my Photoshop and this is the handsome guy we are going to be using. As you can see, he's so handsome, isn't he? That's a photo of me. So as you can see, we are going to be using selective color to adjust this image, the color of this image, to change it into something else, which we don't even know what we are going to be changing it to. Okay, let's start by using the adjustment layer. We'll have to click and select the selective color. So with this selective color, we have we have the preset as default. Then we have color at red. But if you click on this box, you will see other colors like yellow, green, cyan, blue, magenta, white, neutral, and blacks. So we can just start by adjusting the red. So what we are going to do now is just for us to do a little setting, which we are going to be changing, or we are going to continue from where we stop later. So with this now, like, let me explain how this works. Like, as you can see, this black here, if you take it up, that means you are adding red. But if you bring it down, that means you are removing red. But alternatively, the other ones here will have yellow. If you want to add yellow, you can pull it up. You see the yellow enhanced. Then if you want to remove yellow, you can pull it down. Mind you, opposite of yellow is blue. So if you are trying to pull it up, that means you are adding yellow. But if you are trying to pull it back, that means you are removing yellow and at the same time adding blue. So that is the concept of color. We have colors are opposite each other because we have this cyan. Opposite of cyan is red, opposite of magenta is green, and opposite of yellow is blue. So if you are pulling it up like this, that means you are adding yellow. If you are bringing it back, that means you are removing yellow and adding blue. So that is the concept there. So let's see what we're going to be doing with this red. So let's just pull it down, because if we pull it down to minus, let's say, like 56 or minus 100, you notice that the image is becoming too flat, which we don't want. So we want it to be a kind of rich, and we'll have these highlights and shadows. So let's just pull it to something like this. I think it's okay like this. Okay, let's go to, like, we can see add something like, let's go to the blacks. Let's go to blacks and take it up a bit to increase the contrast a bit. So have it like this. I think it's okay like this. Then we can still go to the, let's say, for the image, I don't think we need that neutral that much. Let's see what it's going to do if we add neutral. All these things are kind of removing haze from this image. Like, as you can see, it's becoming richer than it was before. Let me see the before and after. This is before and this is after. It's a very great change. So let's just mask the image out from the layer mask. Let's select the layer mask and use Ctrl I to invert the layer mask. Then we can just go around the image, painting in the effects. But for time's sake, we are not going to be that precise for the masking. So we have to take it fast, and it's just for you to know the concept, to know the how. Just fastly do it. It's not going to spend the whole time on this. So we have to be at 100% so that it comes fast. Can zoom out and increase the brush size. I think we are done here. So we've maxed out the image now, as you can see. So the next thing we are going to be doing now is for us to create a copy of this mask. We are going to create a copy of this mask. How? Let's use our Ctrl J. Meanwhile, it's selected here. This is selected. We have to make a copy of it by using Ctrl J to duplicate it. Then let's just name one of them. Let's rename this to be, let's say, background. So we have this as the background. Then we have this as the, let's say, subject or image. Let's say image. Then hit OK. Like as we are having two of them now, you can see it's just like it's too dark. Now we have to invert the background layer mask so as it's not going to be affecting the image, rather it's going to be affecting the background. We have to click on the layer mask and use Ctrl I to invert it. Now we can now operate on the background, no longer the image, for this background layer. So what we are going to do now is for us to reset this selective color. You just have to double click this selective color icon, then you go to the bottom, you see this icon here, it has to reset the selective color. So you can see there's no change, there's no longer change on it. So it's only affecting the image but not the background. So now if I try adjusting the red now, you notice that it's only affecting the background, not the image. As you can see, it's affecting the background, not the image, because we have the image at the bottom. So what we are going to be doing now is for us to adjust and see how this background is going to look. It's going to look now by going into this stuff now and choose red to start with. We are going to be starting with this red now. Then we can adjust the blacks and make it dark, very dark as it can go. So we'll take the black to 100% so that it's going to be a little bit dark. Now the next thing we do is, which color do we want to be on this background? Because we are having a kind of yellow background or whatever. Then if you want to tweak the colors, you have to try changing these colors. If you pull this cyan up, that means you are adding cyan. But if you pull it down, that means you are adding red. Do you understand the logic? Now the logic is that opposite of cyan is red. So if you are pulling it up, that means you are gaining cyan. But if you are pulling it down, you are gaining red. So as we are pulling it down now, we are pulling it to red so as to make the background reddish. So we'll have it like this. Then we'll go to magenta. So if you take a look at this magenta now, if you pull it up, that means you are adding magenta. But if you pull it down, that means you are adding green. Understand? Okay, so we are pulling it up now to get this red feel that we are looking for, because we are looking for a very warm environment, a warm image. So what we are going to be doing now is for us to check the yellows, check the yellow and see what we can get. Now if we bring it down, that means we are trying to make the background cool, adding blue. But if we pull it up, that means we are adding yellow. So let's take it all the way to 100%. Then let's go to yellow itself, which comprises, as in the yellow, we are having the entire background as yellow. So if we try adjusting this yellow, that means you see it's going to affect it drastically. So let's pull it up and see how dark it's going to go, because I just want the background to be dark. Okay, let's put it at 100%. Then let's go to green. I see there is a little green here, but I think it's not going to make any difference. Let's just leave the green. Then cyan, there's no cyan there. Then there's no blue. So what I'm going to do to magenta? Magenta, I don't think there is anything like magenta, because if you want to see if you have magenta on your image, as magenta is selected, just pull the black up or pull it down. You can see there's no change on the image. That means we have no magenta there. So what we are going to do is for us to go to the white. I don't think we have anything to do with the whites because these are the bright areas, kind of light. Then let's see what it's going to do. If we pull it up, that means we are kind of thickening the whites and it's not going to help us in this manner. Or we can just bring it down to brighten it so that we can use it as a light source that it is. So we can try and see what yellow can give us. If we add yellow, I don't think there's anything there. If we add magenta, nothing happened. So let's just leave it that way. Let's go to neutrals. So this neutral, we are going to pick it up to make it dark or make it white-ish. So like this now, as you can see, we're having strong contrast on the background. So I think with like this now, we are good to go. I think it's okay like this for the background. Then what can we do to all these colors? We have cyan, and if you take a look at the neutrals now, if you turn the cyan down, you have it red. We don't need much red anymore. So let's just see what we can get from, let's just leave it at 0. Then check magenta. We don't want anything like magenta here again. Let's just take it that way. And let's see the yellows. Yellow is only affecting the floor now, as in the floor, adding blue. So we can see there's a touch of blue there. Let's remove it because we want a warm image, not a cool image. So let's just pull it up a bit and see what we can get. Now you can see what it's looking like. So the next thing we do now is for us to see what we can add to this image. What we can add, let's see the before and after. This is before for the background. Then this is after for the background. This is before for the background. This is after for the background. Now we have to add some colors to this image and see how it looks. Because if you take a look at the environment now, the environment has taken another dimension, it has another color. So we have to make these colors affect the image in a way so that it looks natural. So let's add small magenta, a little magenta. Then have to bring cyan down to add a little red. Then we have to add a little yellow to make it warm. Now, let's see the image. This is before, this is after, this is before, this is after. And the background, this is before, this is after. Now we have to put both of them in a group, like hold your control and click the upper one and use Control G to place them in a group. Now we can open the group. Now we have two of them like this. Then we have the natural one. So if you put both of them on and put off both of them, put off the group, you notice we have a very, very neutral image, as in normal image. Now if you put it on, you have the color graded version of it. Now, what can we add to this image and make it look more interesting? We can bring in something like a light source. Let's go to adjustment layer and choose solid color. So with this solid color, we can just randomly choose any color. Let's say yellow. Let's take yellow for now and hit OK. Then we'll go to blend mode and choose, let's say overlay is okay. Then take your layer mask, use your Ctrl I to invert layer mask and look for position to place that effect. Then I just zoom in, or let me increase its brush size, and I'm going to click here. So we have this. Let me click several times. So we have this light source now. It's a kind of light source. Let's check and see. Look at it. So you can see how it's affecting the image. It's just like a light on the image. So it's a kind of trying to improve the light. It's just a kind of trying to improve the light. Then let's see how it's going to add to what we are doing to this image. You can reduce by dragging it, or a kind of, then let's say let it remain like this, and we can still go to the image and add more. Then we have to pick our brush to make sure our foreground color is white and our background color is black, and we paint in some area, like adding more light here. You see what happened here, but it's not how it's supposed to be. I got to go back and reduce the opacity and flow to, like, let's say 20% thereabouts can work. Let's say 20%, 21%. All right, let's just softly paint it in here. We are adding this light to on the image to see the light casted on the image. So let's see how it works here. Like the edges here, as you can see, let's say the light is coming from the right side, so that is why we are placing it on this right area. Then you can see the nose top. There's a little reflection there. All you have to do is just for you to enhance it, and it's going to make more sense. So we have it there. Then you can see add to this area. Then this lip top here, just add it to the right side, not allow it to get to the left side, because we don't have such kind of light by the left side. So just have to paint it kind of. Then you can just paint in here, then a little the edge here, leaving this highlight here. So we'll have it like this. So with this now, you can see that this image has taken the kind of, it's looking more interesting. So what, I don't think if there's any other thing, you can just start playing with your sliders and add things to it. But it's good you know what you are going for. Like if you want a warm color, you can go for a warm color. But if you want a kind of warm color, consists of something like yellow, orange, and all that. But if you want a cool color, that means you have to be adding something like blue and anything cool, any color that is cool. So we have a warm image here with a warm background. So that's the essence of color grading. You can just do anything. Anything that comes out of your mind is what we consider as color grading. Because we know in camera did not give us like this, because camera has to shoot close to natural. Or if you want to add effect on your camera, you can add effect on your camera. But the basic of this is that you can add any color you want to your images. That's what we call color grading. So what we have to do is just for us to, because of time, we don't have to keep doing this, and you just have to go and start playing with your colors, play with your sliders. And so let's just go to the image and double click the selective color icon, and we have the selective color out. Then we can see continue adjusting. Like we can see go to the reds and add more yellow on the red. As you can see, if you add blue, it will not work. Then if you add yellow, it's going to be a kind of, it's going to be working with the background. So this is what we have here. You can still go to the solid color adjustment layer and double click it, and you have the color out. By here, you can just start dragging your color from one point to the other. You see how it affects the image on the face. So as you can see, we have it. I think this green is a kind of okay, but let's see if blue works. Red is okay. pink is okay. Let's say, I think this color is fine. This green is fine. It's very light and fine. Interesting. Let's just disable the light effect and see how it's going to look like. So this is without the light effect. This is with the light effect. This is without the light effect. This is with the light effect. Then if you go down here and say, let's just cancel this, and let's say for the background, this is a normal background and this is the color graded background. This is normal, this is color graded background. Now this is the image, this is normal image, and this is the color graded image. Isn't it amazing? So I don't think there's anything I can do to this image now because of time. It's just for you to get the concept. Just play with your sliders, you will get exactly what you want. It's a kind of what you have in your mind. Then let's just see the before, overall before and after. This is before and this is after. This is before, this is after. Isn't it amazing? Of course it is. So that is it for today's video. You can see it's a very easy way you can color grade your images in Adobe Photoshop using selective colors. If you find it interesting, helpful and useful, please hit that like button. And also leave a comment below telling us where it has helped, where it has not, and the area we need to improve on. Like as I said earlier, if it's your first time on this channel, please do me a favor. Do me a favor by hitting that subscribe button. Not only by hitting that subscribe button, also ring that notification bell so that you don't miss any of the next video. Thanks for watching today's video. Creative Pro, keep on creating. Please stay creative. For now, bye. See you in the next video. Bye.